The bridge of the Iron Fang was a tight cage of green metal and humming machines. Warforged orc warlord Garcrox stood tall, his massive frame clad in armor plated with shimmering green skin plates and black cybernetic implants. His orange eyes burned bright beneath a jagged brow as he stared at the hollow archive floating before him. "Humans," Garcrox spat, voice a low rumble like grinding steel. "Puny carbon creatures. Weak, fragile, not worth the breath it takes to curse them." Beside him, First Lieutenant Vashkul's plated fingers tapped impatiently across a neural console. His own eyes flickered with dim orange light beneath his armored helmet. "Warlord," Vashkul said cautiously, "they adapt faster than any species we have encountered. Their rapid growth worries me." Garcrox snorted, the sound echoing coldly in the claustrophobic bridge. "Adaptability is pointless when faced with warforged strength. We are forged in the fires of battle, tempered by blood and machine. Their feeble minds cannot comprehend our power. The ships—" AI organic fusion core thrummed deep beneath them, sending waves of resonant power through the hull. Neural network amplifiers blinked rhythmically, syncing the ship's mind bridge constructs, melding Garcrox's consciousness with the Iron Fang systems. The massive dreadnought was alive, a titan of war ready to crush. "Remember the ancient expedition," Vashkul pressed, eyes narrowing. "The ones who left the consciousness harvesters buried beneath Mars. Those massive neural excavation machines intended to capture enemy minds and grant ultimate glory." Garcrox's gaze hardened. "A folly of our forebears. Primitive tools abandoned in the dust. Humans cannot wield such technology. Their minds are too raw, too bound to flesh. But they have built networks," Vashkul said, voice low. "Digital webs linking those harvesters. Their data streams surge beneath the surface, connecting, evolving. We cannot dismiss this." Garcrox slammed a heavy fist on the console. Sparks flickered. "They are ants beneath my boot. Their digital tricks are weak against warforged steel." The room grew tense. The hum of the fusion core seemed louder, like a pulse counting down. Vashkul's voice dropped to a warning. "Warlord, reports show their ships, the Excalibur, the Mjolnir, the Defiance, are armed with advanced railguns and energy shields. Their fleet maneuvers with precision. They fight not just with weapons, but with minds linked through quantum comm arrays." Garcrox's orange eyes flickered with a hint of unease. "Still, their metal cannot match our green alloy hulls. Our PPC-7 Soul Crusher plasma disruptors will tear through their defenses." "We must be certain, Warlord," Vashkul said steadily. "Underestimating humans led to the fall of other empires." Jefter gestured. "Their digital immortality networks could make them unstoppable." Garcrox raised his chin, voice booming across the bridge. "No network can hold against the will of warforged orcs. We shall burn their precious Mars and shatter their fragile fleet. This sector will know true power." The Iron Fang's hull vibrated as its pulse plasma cannons powered up. Outside, the red planet Mars hung silent below, unaware of the storm to come. "Prepare for assault," Garcrox ordered. "Let the humans learn why the warforged orcs are the galaxy's supreme warlords." Vashkul nodded, voice clipped. "All hands ready, awaiting your command, Warlord." Garcrox's eyes burned brighter. "Then let us show them. No species born of carbon can stand before the forge of warforged orc might." But even as the warforged orcs vanished, their machines remained. Silent sentinels guarding secrets buried deep beneath the red dust, waiting to warn those who dared to listen. Deep within the cavernous halls of the forged world of Karjul, archivist T.R. Key adjusted the luminescent data crystal in his massive claw. The chamber glowed with a cold blue light, casting long shadows across towering hollow scrolls and ancient glyphs etched into stone walls. Beside him, Archivist Shalun leaned closer, eyes scanning the flickering images of a long-lost alien civilization. These records are from the Varkul, Shalun whispered, voice low and reverent. An extinct race that once controlled the outer rim sectors. Their warnings are dire. D-Rock tapped a neural interface embedded in his armored wrist. Streams of holographic data erupted into the air. Before them floated a complex diagram of what the Varkul called the Mindforge cores, vast neural lattice grids that link consciousness across fleets and battlefields. The Varkul chronicled encounters with a species they named humans, Trock said. They described these beings as primitive in flesh but astonishing in mind. They adapted quickly, mastering the mind-forged technology left behind by others. Shalun frowned. They say the humans use these devices to weave their consciousness into digital immortality networks, transferring their very minds into war machines. The Varkul called it the living weapon. The archivists exchanged uneasy glances. The silence of the hall felt heavy, as if the data crystals themselves absorbed dread. Long ago, T-Rock continued, the humans defeated the Jarmek Empire, a colossal force with superior plasma cannons and quantum disruptors. The Jarmek never anticipated how humans would use the ancient consciousness harvesters to turn their own war machines against them. Shalun's mandibles clicked nervously. It was not physical strength that ended the Jarmek. It was their failure to grasp the full potential of digital warfare. Their minds were trapped in flesh and bone. Humans shattered this limitation. A flicker of a hollow scroll displayed an image of a vast neural lattice grid network hidden beneath the surface of Mars, linked to towering consciousness harvester machines. These relics were the war-forged Orc expedition's legacy, thought lost or useless. But the warnings do not end there, T-Rock said grimly. Beware the species that turns death into code. Underestimate their digital immortality, and your minds become their playground. The harvesters they awaken will not only collect, but resurrect the fallen. Their war is fought in shadows of thought and light. Shalun's voice was barely audible. The Varkul foresaw that no conventional weapon could defeat such foes. They said these humans are not merely soldiers, they are eternal minds, able to jump from one machine to another. They are the ghosts in the Warforge. The Rock's orange eyes glowed brighter. That is why the Warforged orcs must not ignore the warning. Our pride blinds us, but history will not lie. The human's secret lies not in muscle or metal, but in their minds, entwined with ancient technology. The archivist's neural implants hummed softly as they recorded their findings. The weight of forgotten empires rested on their shoulders. Shalun concluded, the war-forged Orc expedition left the consciousness harvesters buried on Mars. We thought the humans were too weak to wield them. But the Varkul warnings remind us. Those machines will become the beating heart of human defense. It will test the endurance of our very minds. Outside the halls of Karjul, stars blinked cold and distant. The memory of extinct empires whispered through the void. The war-forged orcs had been warned. Now they would face the immortal will of humanity. The ancient warnings had been unearthed. The question remained, would they be heeded before it was too late? But while the war-forged orcs left their chilling warnings buried beneath the red dust, humanity was busy building a new kind of future, one where death was no longer the end. Captain Kwame Silva stood on the bridge of the UESN Excalibur, his eyes sharp beneath the dim blue glow of the holographic tactical displays. The sleek Earth Defense Force flagship orbited Mars, its silver hull marked by the deep blue stripes of the Sol Sector fleet. Around him, crew members moved with purpose, navy blue uniforms trimmed in silver, a symbol of humanity's resilience and discipline. Status report, Silva said, voice steady but firm. Captain Anika Farid, tactical officer, glanced up from her console. All railgun batteries, model RLG-9 Thunderbolt, are primed and ready. Energy shields ES-12 Aegis at full capacity. Fleet formations holding steady. No signs of enemy movement yet. Silva nodded. Good. We can't afford any surprises. Mars harvesting sites must stay secure. Those ancient consciousness harvesters are our future, and the war-forged orcs know it. In the engineering alcove, Colonel Nura Bennett was running diagnostics on the Excalibur's fusion reactors. "Power plants are stable," she said over the comm link. "Core output at 105%. I've rerouted auxiliary circuits to support the neural interface arrays. We're ready for anything." The large holographic map showed the positions of Excalibur and its sister ships, the heavy artillery cruiser Mjolnir and the interceptor escort Defiance. All vessels gleamed silver with the same blue markings, a blade of light standing against the brooding red planet below. Admiral Omar checking in, a voice crackled through the quantum comm array. Admiral Hassan Omar's tone was calm but edged with urgency. "Sector Command confirms increased Warforged Orc activity near the outer asteroid belts. Expect contact within the hour. Maintain defensive posture. Protect the harvesters at all costs." Silva acknowledged the message with a crisp salute to the empty air. "Understood, Admiral." "We'll hold the line." Farid's fingers danced across her console, repositioning fleet formations with precision. Mjolnir is moving to long-range artillery stations. Defiance is on high alert for enemy fighters. Excalibur holds center command. Silva moved to the forward viewport, the red and ochre swirls of Mars' surface stretching out below. The ancient warforged orc harvesters lay hidden beneath the dust, massive neural excavation machines, relics of an alien ambition. The same machines humanity had reactivated and reshaped. A soft beep drew his attention to the comm panel. "Colonel Bennett, report." "We're monitoring shield harmonics," Bennett replied. ES-12 Aegis arrays are holding steady, no fluctuations beyond normal. Neural interface conduits are stable, all systems green. Silva allowed himself a brief smile. "Good work. This ship and this crew will be the shield that guards humanity's future." Farid looked up from the tactical display. "Captain, I've been analyzing Warforged Orc combat patterns from previous encounters. They rely on brute force and overwhelming firepower, but they underestimate our adaptability. We've trained for this." Silva's eyes hardened. "That's the key. They see us as soft, carbon-based, slow. But they don't know how far we've come. Our railgun tech can punch through their toughest alloys. Our ES-12 energy shields can soak up plasma disruptors. And we have something else, something they never expected. Digital immortality," Bennett whispered from engineering, her voice filled with pride. Silva turned to her comlink. "Explain again for the bridge." Bennett's voice came steady and clear. "We've integrated the Warforged Orc consciousness harvesters into our neural mesh networks. Human minds can now upload into quantum warframes, digital bodies that fight alongside our ships. It's a new kind of warfare, fast, precise, unyielding." Farid's eyes lit up with renewed determination. "We're not just facing flesh and metal. We're fighting with every mind, every skill, every bit of human will merged into the war machines." Silva looked around at his crew. "Remember this. We are Earth's shield and sword. The war-forged orcs think Mars is their prize. It's ours to defend, our legacy, our future." He paused, voice lowering with quiet intensity. "And we will show them that humanity is not just survivors. We are immortals." The viewport, Mars rotated slowly beneath the fleet. The cold blue light of the Excalibur's bridge was a beacon of human will, standing firm against the unknown. Silva took it. "Let's remind them why humans are feared across the stars." The Excalibur thrummed with power, a silent promise in the void. The war was about to begin, and humanity was ready. Just as we thought we had uncovered the full truth about Mars, the sky suddenly darkened with the roar of war-forged orc ships. Our fight for survival had begun. From the black void of space, huge dreadnoughts erupted from stealth. The war-forged Orc flagship Iron Fang led the charge, its jagged hull gleaming green under Martian sunrays. Behind it, the cruiser Skullcleaver and assault frigate Grimjaw surged forward. Their hulls were armored plates of cracked green metal alloy, etched with glowing orange runes that pulsed with raw power. The Iron Fang's thrusters flared orange fire, radiating heat that warped the vacuum around it. Captain Kwame Silva stood rigid on the bridge of the Excalibur, the human flagship, eyes locked on the tactical holo display. His voice cut through the tense silence. "They're here. All hands, battle stations. Farid, shields up. Bennett, status on power nodes." "Captain." Running full diagnostics now. Colonel Nura Bennett's voice crackled from engineering. "Power plants are stable, Captain. RLG-9, Thunderbolt railguns primed and charging. In orbit above the red sands of Mars, the Earth Defense Force fleet deployed swiftly. The Excalibur was flanked by the heavy artillery cruiser Mjolnir and the fast interceptor escort, Defiance. Their silver hulls glinted blue, war paint marking their allegiance to Earth. The first salvo came without warning. War-forged Orc plasma disruptors, model PPC-7, Soul Crusher, erupted in brilliant bolts of orange energy. The blasts struck human energy shields with brutal force, rippling the ES-12 Aegis barriers. Mars orbit debris scattered in the shock waves. "Shields at 85%, Farid reported, eyes scanning incoming data. Multiple plasma disruptors inbound, diverting power to forward shields. The Excalibur rocked as a plasma burst slammed into its port side. Sparks flew. Sparks flew. But the human fleet responded instantly. Firing RLG-9, Thunderbolt round. The Excalibur's railguns launched hypervelocity projectiles with a thunderous crack. Bright streaks tore through space towards Iron Fang, striking its hull with explosive force. Green metallic plating cracked and flaked, exposing dark inner frames. Gar Krok's voice boomed across the comm channels of the war-forged Orc fleet. "Crush them! Show no mercy to these weaklings! Skullcleaver, flank their left. Grimjaw, prepare boarding thrusters." Defiance, scramble to intercept. Bennett, prepare countermeasures against neural shockwave missiles. The Grimjaw accelerated, launching sleek assault pods that emitted eerie neural shockwaves designed to scramble human neural implants. The war-forged Orcs relied on this tech to disrupt human coordination. "Incoming neural shockwave missiles at bearing 240, Farid warned. Deploying ES-12 bursts. Blue energy shields flared, absorbing the shockwave pulses. Defiance's interceptors darted forward, firing electromagnetic pulse rounds that disabled several assault pods before they reached human ships. Silva clenched his fists. "They underestimated us. Their shockwaves won't break Earth's finest." The battle was a blur of light and sound. Plasma bolts streaked orange. Railgun rounds flashed blue-white. Ships twisted and spun in deadly dance around Mars orbit. "Mjolnir reporting heavy plasma damage to starboard thrusters," a voice called out. Through it all, Farid's voice was steady. Excalibur shields at 75%, holding, targeting Skullcleaver's engine arrays with next salvo. "Fire!" Silva shouted. A volley of railgun blasts struck the cruiser's engines. Flames erupted from its thrusters. Skullcleaver faltered, drifting out of position. On the bridge, Bennett's fingers flew over the console. Energy fluctuations detected. Neural shockwave interference still active. "Reinforcing shield harmonics. Good. Keep it steady," Silva replied. His voice was calm but fierce. "This fight is ours to win. Suddenly, a new threat emerged, Warforged Ort boarding pods closing fast on the Excalibur. "Captain, boarding pods at closing speed. Deploy countermeasures," Farid warned. Silva nodded sharply. "Activate point defense lasers. Prepare emergency bulkhead lockdowns." Streams of laser fire cut through space. Pods exploded before impact, but one breached the outer hull, triggering alarms. "Hull breach reported. Sealing bulkheads now," Bennett called out. Silva's eyes narrowed. "They want to get inside." "We'll burn them out." The battle raged fiercely, but the human fleet's precision and adaptability held firm. "We're not just surviving," Silva said grimly. "We're fighting back." As the Iron Fang recoiled from coordinated railgun strikes, Silva's voice echoed through the comms. "Today, Mars is our shield. Earth is our hammer. Let them come. We're ready." The Warforged Orc assault fleet pressed on, but Earth's defenders stood unbroken. The fight for Mars had only just begun, but humanity's grit would not falter. As the Warforged Orcs unleashed their assault, the Earth Defense Force held their ground, ready to reveal the secret weapon hidden deep within humanity's digital soul. Deep beneath the shadow of Olympus Mons, the underground Mars base known as Ares Nexus thrummed with unseen power. Its walls were carved from red rock, reinforced with gleaming steel plates and lined with banks of glowing consoles. Here, Captain Kwame Silva stood firm, eyes locked on the sprawling holographic display of the battle above. "Colonel Bennett, status on the consciousness transfer nodes," Silva demanded. Colonel Nura Bennett's fingers danced across the control panel. "Neuro-link conduits, stable at 98%. Sentient mesh grids are syncing across all nodes. The quantum warframe network is ready, Captain." Beside her, Captain Anika Farid adjusted her tactical headset, eyes sharp and unwavering. "The Warforged Orcs think they've got the upper hand with their plasma disruptors and neural shockwave missiles. They have no idea what's coming. The Ares Nexus was humanity's hidden ace, a vast digital immortality network built by reverse engineering the ancient Warforged Orc consciousness harvesters buried beneath Mars' surface. These massive neural excavation machines, once left behind by the Orc expedition to capture enemy minds, were now humanity's greatest resource. Instead of harvesting enemy consciousness, humans had transformed these relics into Neuralink conduits, quantum pathways that transferred human minds into Ghostwalkers, elite digital warframes. These warframes were sleek, black armored suits powered by quantum cores, capable of moving faster than any human body, hacking enemy systems from inside, and wielding energy blades that slice through alien machine plating. "Admiral Omar, we're ready to deploy Ghostwalkers," Silva said, through the quantum comm array. The Admiral's voice crackled back, calm but firm. "Hold position. Buy time. This is humanity's moment." Outside the base, the Earth Defense Force fleet in Mars orbit maintained a fierce perimeter. The UESN Excalibur, Silva's flagship, glowed with cold blue light. Alongside, the Mjolnir and Defiance exchanged volleys of RLG-9 Thunderbolt railgun fire and ES-12 Aegis energy shield bursts, keeping the Warforged Orc assault frigates at bay. Back inside Ares Nexus, Bennett monitored the transfer nodes, ensuring every neural lattice grid remained synchronized. "We're holding, but the Orcs are jamming some channels. Farid, I need your team on electronic countermeasures." Farid's fingers flew across her console. "Deploying signal scramblers now." Ghostwalkers are uploading minds, transferring consciousness units into digital avatars connected directly to Ares Nexus. "Ghostwalker Squad Alpha is live," Silva announced, launching into the network. Suddenly, holographic warframes flickered to life around the command room, digital specters with glowing eyes and sleek armor. They moved with lightning speed through the quantum mesh, infiltrating orbiting Warforged Orc dreadnoughts and assault frigates. "Ghostwalkers are inside the Orc machines," Farid reported, voice tense but exhilarated. The Warforged Orcs' own consciousness harvesters were now turned against them. The digital warframes hijacked control systems, overriding plasma disruptors and turning them on their former masters. Ghostwalker Bravo has seized control of the Grimjaw, Bennett exclaimed. They're opening fire on Skullcleaver's flank. Silva's eyes narrowed. This is the edge we needed. Keep the network stable. Transfer every willing pilot into Ghostwalkers. From her station, Bennett's voice dropped into a controlled whisper. This isn't just remote control, it's immersive neural linkage. Our soldiers are digital immortals now. They can die in one machine and leap into another instantly. Every time we lose a Ghostwalker, Silva said, another human mind can jump into a fresh warframe. The warforged orcs can't kill what never truly dies. Outside, the battle intensified. The warforged orc dreadnought Ironfang roared as its plasma disruptors suddenly turned inward, blowing apart its own assault frigates. The green metallic plating of the orc ships cracked and exploded under the Ghostwalker-controlled fire. Captain Silva, fleet reports a surge in enemy ship failures. Admiral Omar's voice came through. Their neural systems are collapsing. Silva grinned. This is the moment humanity shows its true strength. We don't just fight with bodies, we fight with minds, linked, immortal, unstoppable. Farid's voice was fierce. Ghostwalker squads Delta and Echo are pushing through the digital defenses. They're hacking the orc neural amplifiers. The enemy's communications are going dark. Bennett's hands flew over the diagnostics. Ares Nexus is holding the network together despite EMP pulses from the warforged orcs. We're stabilizing the connection. The Ghostwalkers can keep fighting. Silva took a deep breath, feeling a surge of pride. This is what they never expected. The warforged orcs left their consciousness harvesters on Mars, thinking humans were too primitive. Instead, we build digital immortality networks. He looked at Farid and Bennett. We're not just soldiers. We are the minds of a new age. Today, we prove that humanity's greatest weapon is its will to survive and to evolve. The command room hummed with energy, the glowing warframe avatars flickering like ghosts in the machine. Outside, the battle raged on, but the tide was turning. The secret of Ares' Nexus had been revealed, and humanity was no longer fighting with flesh alone. They were fighting as immortal minds, linked forever in a network of power and defiance beneath the watchful cliffs of Olympus Mons. But what the warforged orcs didn't know was that humans had already unlocked a secret far beyond their grasp. Now, I'll tell you what that secret meant for all of us. I am Captain Kwame Silva of the UESN Excalibur. Right now, we're holding steady in Mars orbit, the battle raging all around us. The warforged orcs think they face flesh and steel alone. They don't see that every human mind, every heartbeat, joins the fight across quantum networks deep beneath Olympus Mons. Look out your viewport. See those bright blue shields of the Excalibur rippling in the void? That's the Earth Defense Force's finest technology. But shields alone won't win this fight. It's our will, our unity, our ability to adapt that makes us unstoppable. Since we first discovered the ancient consciousness harvesters buried on Mars, Colonel Nura Bennett and her engineering teams have worked night and day. They rebuilt the Neurolink conduits. They revived the sentient mesh grids. Now, our minds can live beyond our bodies, trapped in digital warframes we call Ghostwalkers. These aren't just machines, they're extensions of us, our memories, our courage, our stubborn refusal to lose. Captain Anika Farid watches the tactical displays next to me. Her calm eyes scan the holographic battlefield, coordinating Ghostwalker deployments like a maestro conducting a symphony. She knows these digital warriors can slip inside enemy cruisers, take control, and turn the warforged orcs' own plasma disruptors against them. Admiral Hassan Omar's voice crackles through the quantum comm array. Silva, the fleet holds position. Silva, the fleet holds position. Mjolnir and Defiance are covering your flanks. Keep pushing. Won't expect what's coming. They believe their strength is in brute force, their glowing orange eyes and jagged green hulls terrifying on the battlefield. But they underestimate the human mind's power to merge flesh and machine, to turn their own legacy against them. I remember the stories from Earth, from the old wars. Humans never back down. When we're cornered, we evolve. We fight smarter. We become more than soldiers. We become immortals. I take a breath and speak across the fleet comms, my voice steady and strong. To every pilot, every engineer, every soldier of the Earth Defense Force fighting above and below this world, listen close. We stand on the shoulders of giants. Those who forged this planet's legacy before us, those who dared to dream beyond death itself. Our enemies see us as fragile, as fleeting, as weak. They do not know that our greatest weapon is not the railgun barrel or the plasma cannon. It is our unity. Our minds, linked through the Ares nexus, fighting as one. We are not just soldiers. Here's. We are immortals. Today, the warforged orcs meet more than flesh and steel. They face the will of every human who ever dreamed beyond death. A silence fills the bridge as I watch the hollow displays flicker. The Ghostwalkers are streaming through neural networks, hunting warforged orc dreadnoughts. The lights on the tactical grid pulse with every hacked ship falling under our control. Farid's fingers dance on her console. Ghostwalker Unit Alpha 7 just seized control of the Grimjaw. Jack! Plasma turrets now firing on their own fleet. Excellent, I say. Tell the fleet to exploit that opening. Bennett's voice hums in my earpiece. Core power stable. Consciousness transfer nodes at 98% efficiency. We can keep this up as long as needed. I stand taller, nodding to myself. This is more than a battle. It is a statement. The warforged orcs may have left their harvesters behind, but we made them our own. We took their technology and gave it purpose. We took their technology and gave it purpose. We took their machines and made them human. And now we fight not just to survive, but to redefine what it means to be alive. To the entire Earth Defense Force, I say, voice rising above the combat noise, hold the line and push forward. Show the galaxy what humanity is made of. Fight with fire, with courage, and with the immortality of our spirit. On the bridge of the Excalibur, surrounded by the blue glow of our fleet's energy shields, I see hope burning in every eye. This is not the end. This is the beginning of humanity's rise, and we will never stop, because we are the ghosts in the machines, and we are forever. But just when hope seemed lost, the edge of Mars sparked with a new kind of fight, one humans never expected. Captain Kwame Silva gripped the armrest of the UESN Excalibur's command chair. His eyes, sharp and steady, scanned the chaotic battle unfolding across the holographic tactical display. The war-forged orc assault frigate Grimjaw was now flickering, orange lights dimming, green metal plating torn like brittle leaves in a storm. Ghostwalkers have breached Grimjaw's neural core, Silva announced, voice calm but hard. Their plasma disruptors are turning on their own fleet. Status, Captain Farid? Mjolnir's railgun volleys are crippling the engines of Skullcleaver and Ironfang, Captain Anika Farid replied from her station. Their thrusters sputter. Defiance is holding missile lanes with ES-12 shields. Incoming neural shockwave missiles are being neutralized. Silence filled the bridge, punctuated only by the hum of quantum comm arrays and the pulsing glow of the ES-12 Aegis shields rippling around human vessels. Colonel Nura Bennett's voice crackled over the comm, tense but steady. Ares Nexus network is stable. EMP pulses from warforged orc disruptors nearly knocked out the mainframe twice, but I rerouted power through secondary Neuralink conduits. Ghostwalkers remain fully operational. Silva allowed himself the smallest nod. The tide had turned. On Mars' surface beneath Olympus Mons, the Ares Nexus thrummed with raw power. Neuralink conduits flashed as human consciousnesses leapt from one warforged orc ship to another. These digital warriors, Ghostwalkers, were ghosts in the machine, hacking, overriding, and seizing control. Their first big strike was brutal and swift. Grimjaw's plasma disruptors, once weapons of destruction, blazed against the war-forged Orc flagship Ironfang. The assault frigate raked its own dreadnought's hull with searing green plasma, tearing open armored plates and causing cascading system failures. Aboard the Ironfang, massive warforged orcs roared in confusion as neural amplifiers overloaded. Their glowing orange eyes flickered erratically, cybernetic limbs spasming under rogue commands. Back on the Excalibur, Silva's voice cut through the tension. "Prepare boarding parties! Digital avatars will lead the assault." Farid, coordinate jamming protocols. Bennett, keep the network running at full capacity. Omar, status on fleet support? Admiral Hassan Omar's voice came crackling through the quantum comm. Mjolnir and Defiance are holding fast. Railguns locked on target. Missile barrages suppressed. Enemy forces falter. Reinforcements en route from Mars orbit. "Good," Silva said. "Begin boarding." Ghostwalkers to Grimjaw, Farid's fingers danced over the holographic controls. Jamming warforged orc neural amplifiers now. Their feedback loops are collapsing. We're breaking their coordination. On the battle-scarred bridge of Grimjaw, warforged orcs struggled to maintain control. The ship's consoles flashed warnings in alien glyphs. Ghostwalker avatars slipped through cyber defenses like shadows, seizing control nodes and rerouting power. Explosions rocked the hull as plasma disruptors fired in unpredictable bursts. The once feared assault frigate was now a digital fortress under human command. Across Mars orbit, the UESN Mjolnir unleashed a thunderous volley of RLG-9 Thunderbolt railgun shots. Each shot tore through the green metallic hulls of warforged Orc cruisers, blowing holes that spilled superheated plasma into space. The Defiance danced nimbly through missile streams, its ES-12 Aegis shields flaring with each interception. Captain Farid's tactical team predicted trajectories with uncanny precision. "Missiles neutralized, ready for counterstrike," Farid confirmed, eyes sharp. The warforged Orc fleet was fracturing. Back on the Excalibur, Silva stood and looked out at the swirling stars beyond the viewport. "They thought their harvesters were forgotten relics," he said quietly. "But humanity made them our greatest weapon." He turned sharply to his officers. "This fight is ours now. Push the advantage. Wipe their fleet from Mars orbit." Bennett's voice came steady through the comm. "Ares Nexus holding. Ghostwalkers are moving to infiltrate the Skull Cleaver. Their systems are already unstable." "Good," Silva said, voice rising with fierce determination. "Farid, order Defiance to cover boarding teams. Omar, prepare fleet to intercept any retreating vessels." Outside, the battle spectacle was devastating. Green metal hulls shattered, glowing orange eyes of warforged Orc ships went dark. Blue-white railgun beams lanced the void. Ghostwalkers zipped through digital corridors, a silent storm of data-driven warriors. Inside the Mjolnir, Captain Farid smiled grimly. "This is what they didn't expect. Human minds freed from flesh, fighting inside their own metal beasts." Silva's voice rang out again over fleet comms, calm and commanding. "This is Captain Kwame Silva of UES." The warforged Orcs thought they faced flesh and bone soldiers. Instead, they face our will, immortal, unbreakable, united. Today, we fight in body and mind. Victory is ours. Cheers echoed faintly from ship's internal comms. The Earth Defense Force fleet rallied, their blue and silver hulls shimmering in the reflected light of Mars below. The warforged Orc flagship Ironfang shuddered violently as Ghostwalkers infiltrated its core systems. Shields flickered, weapons went offline, and the mighty dreadnought began a slow, inevitable drift toward destruction. Silva watched the tactical display one last time as Ironfang's engine sputtered out, a blazing wreck in the void. The tide had turned. Humanity had seized the day, digital immortals rising from the ancient machines left behind. Mars was theirs, and this was only the beginning. As the warforged Orcs faltered, the Earth Defense Force seized their chance, turning the tide into a path toward victory and a new future shaped by human will. The dreadnought Ironfang blinked out of the starfield, its massive hull scarred and glowing with damage. Behind it, the war-forged Orc assault frigate Grimjaw and cruiser Skullcleaver limped in retreat. Orange plasma fire sputtered from their shattered weapons arrays. The jagged green metal plating that once gleamed coldly in Mars' orbit now fell away in sparks and smoke. Captain Kwame Silva stood on the bridge of the Excalibur, eyes locked on the tactical holoscreen. His navy blue uniform was creased but spotless, silver rank bars gleaming under the glow of the control panels. Around him, the crew moved with calm precision, their faces lit by the blue light of the ES-12 Aegis shield generators holding steady. "Enemy fleet breaking formation," Silva said, voice steady but fierce. "Mjolnir, finish suppressing their engines. Defiance, cover the salvage teams." "We're not letting a single war-forged Orc escape this sector." "Understood, Captain," said Captain Anika Farid, tactical officer, her sharp eyes scanning incoming sensor data. "Mjolnir's RLG-9. Thunderbolts are tearing through their engine cores. We've got multiple crippled vessels drifting toward Mars." Farid's voice was calm but carried the hard edge of victory earned through fire. She tapped commands on her holopad, coordinating the fleet with practiced ease. On the ground beneath Olympus Mons, Colonel Nura Bennett monitored the Ares Nexus control room. Her fingers flew over the interface of the sentient mesh grids. The consciousness harvesters, once dormant relics of the war-forged Orc expedition, now pulsed with human minds. Digital warframes blinked across the network, hunting down enemy signals and converting hostile machinery. "Colonel Bennett," came Admiral Hassan Omar's voice from the quantum comm link, crackling with static but brimming with pride. "Your work with the neural interfaces saved this battle. Mars is secure because of you and your team." Bennett allowed herself a brief smile. "We're already reverse engineering the war-forged Orc tech from the salvaged vessels. Their neural amplifiers could redefine human hardware." Silva's gaze hardened. "This is more than a battle won. Mars was their legacy. It's now ours to defend and evolve." He turned to Farid. "Prepare the fleet for a potential counterattack. The war-forged Orcs won't accept defeat quietly." Farid nodded. "Defenses are reinforced. ES-12 shields at max and interceptor squadrons ready on defiance. No surprise attack will catch us off guard." Across the sensor array, the last war-forged Orc, ships faded into the black void beyond Mars' orbit. The Iron Fang's once menacing silhouette disappeared behind the swirling dust storms that cloaked the red planet. The bridge crew let out a breath they didn't realize they'd been holding. Silva stepped forward, voice low but resolute. "Today, humanity proved immortal." He paused, eyes sweeping the crew. "We are not just survivors. We are the inheritors of this battlefield, the masters of machine and mind." The war-forged Orcs thought they buried their future here. Instead, they gave us the tools to become legends. Farid smiled, a flash of fierce pride lighting her features. "Ghostwalkers are still active in the network. We can push deeper into their systems. This war's next phase belongs to us." "Our digital immortals will patrol the network, ready for any threat." Admiral Omar's voice filled the bridge again. "Excellent work, all of you. Planet Mars stands as a symbol now, a bastion of human ingenuity and spirit. We hold this line, and we push forward. We, Fox Stroward." Silva looked out through the viewport. The red planet's surface glowed softly beneath the Ares Nexus, twin moons Phobos and Deimos orbiting silently. "We must be ready." He raised his voice for all the bridge crew to hear. "Today, we are more than flesh and blood. We are the sentinels of humanity's new dawn. Let the war-forged orcs come. We will meet them as immortals. Farid saluted sharply. All stations, battle readiness. 2-0, stand by for further orders. Bennett powered up auxiliary neural relays, her fingers dancing over the console. The future is ours to build. One mind, one network, one immortal human will. Outside, the UESN fleet regrouped. The blue glow of Excalibur, Mjolnir, and Defiance stood proud against the dark void. Their railguns were reloading. Their energy shields hummed with renewed strength. Mars was no longer just a planet. It was a fortress, a cradle of the digital immortals, and a beacon of human supremacy. The war-forged orcs had learned the hard way. Humanity was never weak. Humanity was eternal. And this was only the beginning.